We are here. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. We just got to watch you perform, which I was saying is like the most acoustic performance because you didn't even have a microphone.
So no microphone, just a keyboard and like a small little speaker. Very raw.
You sounded great.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You've been doing this for a while though, so.
Yeah, well, I've been singing pretty much since I can talk. So, but I've never, like I said, I've never performed without a mic. That was the most acoustic I've ever done.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with my hands.
I
Even in a situation like this.
I did not know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling my team. I was like, what am I going to do with my hands? I'm like, so I was like doing this, you know.
No, it was wonderful.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. How are you feeling? The album's been out for a few days. I can imagine it's been a whirlwind.
It's been crazy. It's been honestly such a crazy last 3 weeks because so the album did come out last Friday, but also I opened for Alessia Cara the week before, which I found out a week before. And that was like that wasn't planned, so it was supposed to be like a chill week before the release, but now then we went across Canada with Alessia Cara, and then last week we had a fan event. Then I had a family and friends event the night of the release, and then the release, and then so it's been crazy, but honestly that's how I like it.
Yeah.
I don't like to be bored.
How did that come about then with Alessia Cara if it wasn't planned?
It's so crazy. She was just looking for a opening act for her like Canadian part of her tour, and so we pitched my project, but I didn't think we would get it. Like they told me, oh, we pitched it, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool. And then they called me while I'm with my band, like we're rehearsing for the festivals this summer, and I get the text. It's like, hey, it's gonna work out with Alessia, and I'm like, and I just told the band, I'm like, hey guys, we're gonna open for Alessia Cara next week. Cancel your plans. They canceled everything. They made it happen, and it was crazy. It was so fun.
Yeah, how was that experience? Because I find too sometimes opening for an artist, you're really introducing yourself to a lot of people that might not be familiar with your music.
It's I thought it would be more challenging than what it was, because I was expecting to sing in front of people that would like drink their beer and like take that moment to go to the bathroom and like not care. But I was so happy to see that some people like out of Quebec, because in Quebec there's more people that know me, and I thought it was super cool to see that people that have absolutely no idea who I am, they were listening to me, and they liked it and paying attention and like loving it. And I received so many messages after saying like new fan, and like that was crazy, blah blah blah. And so I was pleasantly surprised to see like how people were happy to see me, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're going to see Alessia Cara. I thought they wouldn't care. It was very cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I need you to explain the Charlotte Cardin situation that happened where she invited you to a show. What happened there?
So Charlotte and I share the same team. So we're signed on the same label. I work with the same team as her for my album. So we kind of breathe the same air. So I've known her for a while. We're both from Quebec. We both did La Voix. And she has heard my album. She's been listening to it for the past year. She's had the link forever. And when Lay Your Light came out, I know it was one of her favorite. And she just texted me and she's like, hey, would you want to come perform it on my show in Mont-Tremblant? I was shocked. I was like, first of all, that is so sweet of her to think of me. Because, I mean, it's such a amazing opportunity for me to perform like in front of a large audience. And with her also, it's crazy. And that's what I found the coolest is she was like, you want to come perform it? We'll do it together. So we kind of like sang it together. We started it like acoustic at first, and then it went into the original song, and that was crazy. And we actually wrote a song on my album together. The Girl on my album, we co-wrote. It's so good.
How did that work? Did you plan to sit down and be like, okay, we're going to write a song together?
Yeah. Yeah. So she's just all around the world always. She's so busy. Mm-hmm. And when she comes to Montreal to write, she's still like very locked in, busy in the studio. But me, her, and Lubelin, we just decided to hang out and write a song. And we just like, I mean, the song could have not made it on the album. It was kind of in the exploratory phase of the writing process of the album, but we ended up loving it. And it's actually one of the last one we finished because we kind of didn't know where we were taking the song. And I think it was the last one we finished. And at some point I was like, I hate the song. Like the way we were producing it, what we were doing with it, I was like, ugh, I hate it. Let's take it off. But then the team was like, chill. And then at some point we kind of found the perfect recipe. And now, honestly, it's I find the coolest one. One of the coolest one on the album, yeah.
Did you have an idea of what you wanted the album to sound like before you really got into it?
No idea.
No?
Zero idea.
How was that journey then, discovering that?
It was a very cool journey. What I really liked with this new team was that the goal at first was to find my sound. I feel like I didn't have a specific sound before this album. And the goal was to make a very cohesive? What's the word? Cohesive album from start to finish. And when you listen to the album, you can hear that there are very different songs. So there'll be like up-tempo, like bold, cool songs. But there'll be like big ballads and folky ballad. But in the end, when you hear it as a whole, it all makes sense because we found my sound, which was challenging at first because it was like, I feel like triple the work because I was like, okay, no, that doesn't sound like me. That doesn't stick with me. But when we finished the 5 first songs, they were kind of like the example for the 5 next one. And turns out I feel like we kind of really did find like, I feel like I wouldn't know how to explain my sound.
Yeah.
But I would just be like, listen to this. This is me.
Totally. I was going to say, like, how did you know when it was your sound? But it's just that.
Love it.
Yeah.
I just like naturally love it. Like, I listen to it and I'm like, I'm not ashamed of it at all.
Nice.
I love it.
That's your sound.
Yeah.
That's it. I love that so much. Most of the time, I feel like a tip that people always give is when you get a hate comment or somebody says something rude to you online, you're just supposed to ignore it and not address it at all. I feel like you did the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You came out with the song Fake.
Yeah.
What made you want to release that song? And did you ever think about just not saying anything?
Because I actually never say anything. I never, ever respond to hate, ever. Because I think it's just pointless. But the background story of this song is I went on Reddit and searched up my name. Really weird threads on there. Like,
there are weird threads.
That's crazy.
I know. I did the same thing.
Literally crazy.
Looked at
and the craziest part is like not addressing it. Because you're like, wow, this is absolutely crazy what I'm reading. But I can't say anything because it's pointless. But I went in the studio the next day and we kind of got inspired by everything they were saying. And the whole point of like the first line in Fake is imaginary people dictate how I feel. Yeah, that's the first line. Dictate how whatever. Imaginary people. That's the point. So we had this long conversation about how crazy it is that when you're on social media, you basically live for imaginary people and for how they perceive you and how like you want to be loved by these imaginary people, which are real people. But the hate comments they write don't exist if you don't read them, right? So we got inspired by this whole song, and the story I'm kind of making up around it is like that I wrote it for the Reddit people, but don't feel too important. You're not that important.
Have you
gone on
Reddit since that song came out?
I don't want to go. I don't go on Reddit. I really don't want to go. So far, great comments on the album. So I'm not going to go on Reddit.
Yeah. I watched an interview with T-Pain the other day, and he was talking about that, where he said a lot of the times when he will get somebody leaving a hate comment, he can tell that they just want any sort of acknowledgement or attention or anything. So sometimes he said, as soon as I would respond, then they'd get excited. And then
of course. And majority of the time you'll respond and they're like, oh my God, I didn't think you'd respond. I love you so much.
Yeah. So I think everybody just wants a little bit of attention, I guess, or a hug maybe.
A hug would help, I'm sure.
Yeah. That would solve all the problems.
A good hug.
Yeah, totally. I want to talk about you being a mother.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, just so impressive to be a working mom.
Yeah.
Your daughter is so cute.
Thank you.
How much does she dictate the music that you make?
Ah, good one.
Thanks.
Good one. Oh my God, does she? You know what? I haven't been able to write a song about her yet.
Oh yeah.
I tried so many times and I can't find the right words. It's like, so I never wrote about her. She clearly doesn't influence considering what I say in my songs. But it's funny because she sings them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can say that only when it's my song. But she dictates my world, to be honest. It's just like everything gravitates around her, and my schedule, my life, everything goes around like her. And she enjoys me performing so much and me being a singer. I feel like she's starting to understand, because when I go pick her up at school, the little kids are like, that's your mom? And I'm like, yeah. She's starting to be like, oh, why do people want pictures with you? Yeah. Which I think is so cute. And she's very much like me also. She loves to perform, she loves to sing, to dance. So it's kind of crazy to see all of this through her eyes. She's so
Totally.
like proud.
Yeah.
And so it's very cheesy, but I do it all for her.
That's so sweet. Does she have a favorite song from the album or one that you notice that she likes more?
She really likes the French one.
Oh, yeah.
Called Indem. I feel like it's because it's the first time that she hears me sing French. So she's like, oh, cool. But other than that, she was very obsessed with Choke at first and Lay Your Light.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's got good taste.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
nice. What inspired you to want to release a French song on this album?
Honestly, the song came to me very naturally. I've never written French before, which is odd because it's my first language. But I've never been like, I don't know, it never came to me. And my influences are very English since I've been young. I've always been inspired by English artists. It just came to me naturally. And this song, I was in my car and this melody just came in my mind, which I always sing. There's always like a melody in my mind. And when I started singing the words, it came out in French. So I just went to my piano, wrote it in French. Also odd, I never write by myself on my piano. And the next day I showed it to the team and they were like, wow, this is so good. And till the very last minute, I questioned this song and I challenged it because I was telling the team, I'm like, there's no way you guys think it's good because it came just from me, only me. Usually I co-write. And I couldn't like believe that this song could be good enough to be on an album considering it came from me. But they were like, shut up. It's good. So I was like, okay, we'll put it on the album.
Let's see. Are there any challenges that come with writing a song in French versus English?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot. It feels much more vulnerable to me because it's weird. Even when I speak, as much as when I sing, English is my second language, but I've been surrounded by English my whole life. My mom is an English teacher. My sister's in English because my stepdad is English. Like, it's been a part of my life, my whole life. But I've been to French school, and I'm surrounded mostly by French friends. So the language I speak maybe my emotions in, or I don't know, I go through my emotions in French. It's like I cry. When I cry, I'm going to speak French. I'm going to cry in French, you know?
Yeah.
So it feels very vulnerable to me. And writing this French song was like being so overly honest, which was kind of scary because I'm kind of like at a point where I don't want to explain all of my songs that much, especially the vulnerable ones. And in my mind, writing this one in French was like making it so clear. Maybe not to you guys, though. You're like, I don't understand. But to my French audience. So yeah. It's a weird feeling.
Would you ever consider writing a whole album in French one day? Have you thought about that?
I don't think I would write a whole album in French. Maybe like an EP. Maybe like I don't know what's going to happen with this album. Maybe like Europe is going to get interested. And maybe I'm going to be like, oh, might as well just write something in French. Or I'm open. I've never been that open. Now I am open. I'm like, might as well. I'm bilingual, so.
Are you a July 22nd Cancer or a July 22nd Leo?
Wow, I'm glad you asked. I thought all my life I was a Cancer, and I found out I'm a Leo.
Yeah. Do you feel like a Leo?
I am obviously a Leo.
Oh, yeah?
Obviously a Leo, but very, very much a Cancer. My moon is in Cancer, so I'm still a Cancer. But you know what? I feel like that's maybe not because of the astrological part of it, which I love astrology. But I say that for people who don't like astrology.
I like astrology.
So yeah, I love astrology. But there's two different sides to my personality. There's Natalie and there's me. To my personality. So there's a I knew you would think that was funny. So there's the very sensitive side of my personality, very emotional, very motherly, very, very like intense. And there's the very bold, fierce, like performance side of me. And you could definitely see that in the album. There's the half of it that's like Fake, Choke, The Girl, bold song, fierce songs, and then Hotel W, Tired of Me, and Them, which are very like super sensitive songs, like vulnerable songs. And that reflects the Leo and the Cancer.
Yeah, right on there. I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you so
here.
much.
Yeah, it was great chatting with you.
It was a great time. Thank
Amazing.
you.
Cool.